Namaste and welcome to Navaratri Day. This is day 9 at Devi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. I'm Yamajit. Welcome and namaste. So today, our puja, satsang, and meditation will center on chapter 12 of the Devi Mahatmaya. And the focus of this chapter is really the benefits of performing the sadhana that we've been doing these last few days. Sarvabhistam Gatopiva Yashmare Pandarikaksham Sabhyabhyanta Sushi Om Shukla Santaye Jaganesha Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshvara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Jai Guru. Om Trayambakam Yajamae Sagandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukameva Bandhanan Mrityur Mukshiyam Amritat. Om Namah Shivaya. Devi Prapanote Hare Prasida Prasida Matar Jagata Kilasya Prasida Vishve Svara Pe Vishvam Tvameshwara Devi Chachara Charasya Jima Devi. Om Jayanti Mangalakali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Shama Shiva Datri Svasvada Namostute Jayatvam Devi Chamunde Jaya Bhutita Harani Jaya Sarvagati Devi Kalaratri Namostute Jima. Om Jema. Chapter 12, Meditation. We meditate upon the three-eyed goddess Durga, the reliever of difficulties. Maidens holding the double-edged sword and shield in their hands are standing at readiness to serve her. She holds in her hands the discus, club, double-edged sword, shield, arrow, bow, net, and mudra, connecting the thumb and pointer finger, and the three other fingers extended upwards, indicating the granting of wisdom. Her intrinsic nature is fire, and upon her head she wears the moon as her crown, and that is the true benefit of this sadhana, the gift of wisdom. Om, the goddess said, whoever will be constantly reciting these hymns of praise to me with a concentrated mind shall destruction of too much and too little, that's the demons Madhu and Kataba, the slaughter of the great ego, the buffalo demon Mahisashura, and the death of Sumba, self-conceit, and Nisumba, self-deprecation. Whoever with one-pointed attention and devotion will listen to this presentation of my excellent glory on the 8th, 14th, neither will anything bad occur, nor will misfortunes arise out of inauspicious events. Neither will poverty arise, nor separation from beloved ones. No fear will ever come to them from enemies, robbers, or kings, nor upon weapon, fire, or floods. Therefore, this presentation of my glories should be recited with full attention and should be constantly listened to with devotion, as it is one's own path to self-realization. This presentation of my glories, the great destroyer of all disturbances, will bring peace to the threefold nature of confusion: physical confusion, mental confusion, and spiritual confusion, or myself, others, and acts of God. I shall never forsake the place where the narration is well recited. There my presence will constantly abide. When offerings are made during worship, in the fire sacrifice, at great festive occasions, this presentation of my glory should be completely recited and listened to. I will accept with love all acts of worship, offerings, and fire sacrifices, whether performed with understanding or without it. In the great periods when yearly worship is performed in the autumn season, that's Navaratri, this presentation of my glory should be listened to with devotion and full attention. People will become liberated from the troubles and without doubt will be blessed with wealth and food and beautiful children. Listening to this presentation of my glories, for my auspicious manifestations and my heroic conquering in the battles, people become fearless. Enemies perish and welfare is generated for those who listen to this narrative of my glories, and their families shall rejoice. Let my glories be heard everywhere in functions of peace, upon seeing a bad dream or to alleviate the adverse effects of positions of the planets. Troubles subside, as well as the afflicting influences of the planets. The bad dream shall be seen by people and will become a good dream. It pacifies children affected by the existence of adverse planetary influences, and it is the best cause of friendship when associations of people have divided. It annihilates the strength of evildoers, and its recitation destroys demons, ghosts, and ungodly spirits. This entire narration of my glories makes my presence manifest. With the same satisfaction with which I receive 1 year of worship of offerings of your animalistic nature, flowers, objects of value, incense, perfumes, lights, and the feeding of wise people, fire offerings daily, sprinkling of consecrated waters, and the offering of other objects of enjoyment similar is my gratification for those who with love for me. Recite this excellent narration or listen to it but once. Hearing removes sin and gives freedom from infirmities. Something I want to say about something in these verses about offerings of your animalistic nature. And this is a good time to talk about the 5 puja offerings you've been seeing me giving in our opening ceremonies. This is called the Pancha Puja, or 5-element puja. So the first offering is the lamp. And the lamp, the fire element, represents our consciousness and also our abilities to transform, our abilities to make a difference. The next offering, which is still actually burning, the offering of incense, is the air element. And this represents our intellectual self, our mental self. The third offering is food for the water element, and it's our emotional self. And then the next element, in this case I'm using perfume or sandal paste. This is the earth element, and this represents our physical selves. And then the final offering, flowers. This is the ether element, our spiritual selves. You can also think of it as the flowering of our potentials. So when we give these offerings in the devotional rite of puja, we're saying to the Divine Mother, take us as your offering. Our consciousness, our thoughts, our emotions, our physical manifestation, and our spirit. Purify them, heal them, transform them, and make us your instruments upon this earth, your vehicles for balance, for healing, and for change. That's the meaning of puja. Those who sing the praise of my births are protected from evil spirits, and the narration of my heroic acts in battle renders evil confusions without strength. After listening to this, fear of enemies is lost. The hymns of praise made by you, gods and seers of divinity, and the creative capacity, and others as well, will bestow auspicious thoughts on a lonely path in the forest surrounded by raging fire. Wonderful verse right now. Encircled by robbers in a lonely place, captured by enemies, pursued by a lion, tiger, or wild elephants in the jungle, under whose orders an angry king imprisoned or condemned to death, or tossed under by turbulent winds in a boat on the great sea, or in an intensive battle under heavy fire from opposing weapons, in all terrible afflictions and moments of distress. People who remember my glory will be freed from calamity and anguish. From my power, lions, robbers, and enemies flee to the distance from one who remembers this narration of my glory. And the Rishi said, thus spoken, the supreme she who tears apart thought of fierce prowess disappeared from there while the gods watched her. Their enemies having been slain, all the gods were freed from the destruction of mind. They all began to enjoy their shares of the sacrifices and to exercise their divine authority as before. When those thoughts, enemies of the gods and afflictions of the world, self-conceit, greatly fierce and unequaled prowess, and self-deprecation, the great valor, were slain by the battle of the goddess, the remaining thoughts, the remaining demons, returned back to the lower worlds. Thus, O king, the supreme goddess, although eternal, again and again manifests herself for the protection of the worlds. The universe is deluded by her, and she who creates the universe, satisfied by prayer, she grants wisdom and perfection. I want to make a little comment on that too. So, as I mentioned before, the Divine Mother represents all the laws that govern the universe, including the laws that bring things into manifestation. So, and everything, matter and energy, are under the influence of those laws. And when we are in these bodies and we are perceiving things through our five senses, it's very easy to become deluded or confused on solely the material world. We think that sometimes begin to think that all of reality is just what we can see, hear, smell, and taste, and touch. And we forget that divine consciousness that is in ourselves all the time, and it's remembering through her that divine consciousness, that divine presence, that really all of our difficulties, all of our fears and anxieties can be alleviated. O sovereign of thinking beings, the entire cosmos is pervaded by her, the great goddess, who is the intrinsic nature of the great remover of darkness and the great destroyer. Sometimes she is the great destroyer. Sometimes she, the unborn, becomes the creation. Sometimes she, the eternal, preserves all beings. She's the power that brings us into this world, maintains us during our time here, and then calls us home when our time has come. During this time of welfare, she is the goddess of true wealth in the homes of men, granting increase. In times of misfortune, she herself is calamity and brings about ruin. Praised and worshipped with flowers, perfumes, essence, and other offerings, she bestows understanding, wealth, offspring, and a beautiful mind in the way of truth to that great boon, to wisdom. Om Jai Ma. So I once again invite you to make yourself comfortable. Find a seated position in which you can meditate for the next few minutes. And let the verses and the mantras guide your awareness toward wisdom. Tvadasyo Daya Dayanam Om Vidyo Dhamma Sama Prabham Mrigapate Skandhastitam Bisanam Kalyabhya Karavala Chikita Vilasadhaspira Sevitam Hastas Chakra Gadase Keta Visam Skyapam Gunam Tarjanim Bibran Malata Mikam Sast Siddharam Durgam Trinitram Bhaje. Om Devi Yovacha Ebi Savascha Mam Nityam Stoyate Ya Samsita Tasyam Sakalam Badam Nayisyama Samsayam Madhu Kataba Nascham Cha Mahisashura Gatanam Christianti Yetadvad Vadyam Shumba Nishumbayo Astamyam Cha Chodasyam Navamyam Cha Kestasa Sroyante Chavaye Bhaktya Mama Mahatmaya Muttamam Natasyam Doskrutam Kinchid Dostrota Nachapada Bhavisyate na Dridrayam Nachayvasta Vyojanam Statrona Bayam Tasya Dasyuto Vana Rajata Na Saranyasto Yagat Kacha Chidisam Bhavisyante Tasma Mami Tamasat Mayam Prativayam Mahatita Strovyam Chasad Bhakcha Param Svayasanam Hitat Upasargra Nasya Samitu Mahamari Sobhavan Trata Trivudmupatam Mahatmayam Samanyan Mama Yatratat Payate Samyan Nityamal Yatane Mama Sadanat Vadvimoksyam Samadimyam Tatrame Stitam Pali Pradane Pujam Agni Kare Mahotsave Svaram Maita Charita Mucharam Sayameshvacha Jnanata Vapi Bale Pujam Tata Kritam Prachi Chisanayam Pritaya Vanime Homam Tata Kritam Sara Kale Mahapuje Kriyate Yacha Vakshikti Tasyam Mami Tan Mahatmayam Stutva Bhakti Samanvita Sarvabhada Vinir Mukta Vadayandayana Sotanvita Manusyo Mata Prastana Bhaivisyatena Samsaya Strutva Mahaitan Mahatmayam Tata Kopataya Subha Parikram Cha Vidhesyo Jayate Nebayam Purmam Ripadva Masayam Yanti Kalyanam Kopadayate Nandate Chakulam Pumsam Mahatmayam Mama Sunvatam Shanti Karmini Sarvatra Tata Durvapna darshine graha pideshu kograso Mahatmayam Sornaya Mama Upar Saga Samamyante Grahat Pita Chadarana Dorsvapanam Cha Nirbidastam Sasvapanam Upajayate Balagrahabi Bhutanam Balnam Sante Karakam Samgata Bedesa Normam Matri Karnamutamam Drutas Namase Sanam Balahan Karam Param Raksho Bhuta Pisachamam Patana Devi Nasanam Sarva Mahatan Mahatmayam Mama Sannidhi Karakam Pasu Paspar Griha Dupascha Ganda Dipas Tatotatmaya Vipranam Bojana Homya Parsanyarha Maharsam Ayancha Diradhir Bogya Pradhanarvavatsarenaya Pritime Krityante Sasmin Skrit Suchate Surate Srutam Harate Papani Tatarogyam Prayachati Rasyam Karate Bhutyo Janmanam Kritanam Mama Yodisho Charitam Yaname Dustadaya Nirboranam Tasmin Shorate Virikatam Bharyam Pusyam Na Jayate Yusma Bisturaityo Yascha Brahmasibhya Krita Brahmana Cha Krutasto Prayanch Chanti Subhamatim Aranye Pratare Vapidavagni Parvaritya Tasyo Bhirava Vyata Sonye Grito Vapi Stiro Satrubi Simhaya Agraranyo Eto Bhavanivan Vanhastibhya Ragya Krudena Chanapto Vadyo Banda Ganto Piva Argotino Vavatana Stita Pote Mahaharnave Pratatso Chapi Sarasyo Samgrame Brasadarane Sabhabatasyo Goraso Vidabhyo Dardito Piva Samran Mamaitak Karatam Naro Muchetya Shankatat Mama Prabhavat Simadhya Dasvayo Vavo Yavo Vyaranastata Durdeva Padanyante Maratas Charitam Mama Risirovacha Iti Yuktva Sabhagavati Chandika Chanda Vikrama Pasyatameva Devanam Tatrevanantaradriyata Tipi Deva Nirantaka Svari Karanyata Pura Yagya Gabura Savachikir Vinahataraya Date yascha devya nilate sombe devadat pao yude jagad vidharam sini tasmin mogare tula vikrame nishumbere cha mahavirye sesya palamayaya evam bhagavati Devi nityape puna puna samboya krute bhuya jagata paripalanam te yaktan moyate visvam saiva vishvam prashuyate sayachita cha vijanam tustaridim prayachare vayapam Tayatat Sakalam Brahmandam Manujesvara Mahakalya Mahakale Mahamari Svarupaya Sarvakale Mahamari Shiva Swastir Bhavatyaja Stitim Karote Bhutanam Saivakale Sanatani Bhavakale Nimam Shiva Lakshmir Vidhi Pradegrehe Shaiva Bhavetata Lakshmir Vinayopajayate Stuta Sambhujita Pusper Drupa Gandhasti Bistata Dadi Vitam Puramescha Matim Dharme Gatim Subam Om Jema. Om Aing Rim Klim Chamundai Viche 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 Om Aing Rim Klim Chamundai Viche. 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 Om Aing Rim Klim Chamundai Viche Namah. Allow yourself to become one with the energies of the mantras and the verses. And let that power guide you to the true boon of this work, and that is wisdom. Jema. 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 I invite you now to take a deep and clearing breath, letting go of the meditation and becoming aware of your surroundings and the sensation of your body seated in your chosen place. Begin to move your fingers and toes, hands and feet, arms and legs. Wrapping the palms of your hands together, placing them over your eyes, slowly opening your eyes as you massage your face and scalp and neck. Bringing the palms of your hands again to your heart center. Thanking the Divine Mother for her presence in your life, and to yourself for taking part in this practice. Namaste. Jai Mata Di. And blessings always. And thank you. So tomorrow at noon, we have our last installment of this series. We'll be reciting the 13th chapter of the Devi Mahatmaya, which involves the granting of boons. You'll learn the fate of the businessman and the king who we were introduced to in the beginning of this saga. And we'll conclude with some closing prayers for this sadhana that we've been undertaking for. Tomorrow will be the 11th day. Have a wonderful day ahead, and see you tomorrow. Jai Ma and Namaste.